Even though Neeb Karoli Baba left us from the physical realm many years back, there are numerous stories around the world on how he showers us with his miracles and saves us in time of need. In the first half of the video, we get to know how Babaji presented himself to transform Tim's life in 2019, and later half of video how Baba reappeared to help him during the crisis of COVID. And if you stick around till the end of video, we can learn how we can get a chance to meet Babaji.
In the summer of 2018, I found myself on a much-needed vacation with my family in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. The warm sun, the gentle ocean breeze, and the lush landscapes created a perfect backdrop for relaxation. Little did I know that this trip would mark the beginning of a spiritual journey that would completely transform my life. One afternoon, after a long morning of exploring the island, I decided to take a nap. My body was tired, but little did I know that my soul was about to be awakened. As I drifted off to sleep after reading a few pages of the book Be Here Now, I had no idea that I was about to have a dream that would alter the course of my life. In the dream, I found myself in a quiet, serene room. The atmosphere was thick with a sense of reverence, as if something deeply sacred was unfolding. In the center of the room, lying on a simple wooden platform, takat, was a figure I recognized immediately from the pages of Be Here Now, Neeb Karori Baba. Though I had read about him, I hadn't felt a deep connection to him at the time. Yet there he was, right before my eyes, lying peacefully on his side, his eyes closed in what seemed like a deep meditative state. I stood there about 10 feet away from the takat, unsure of what to do. The silence was both comforting and overwhelming. Suddenly, Baba's eyes fluttered open, and in an instant, his gaze fell upon me and with a hand gesture, asked me to come near him. The moment his eyes met mine, I felt an indescribable surge of energy. It was as if the entire room was flooded with an intense, pure white light. The light radiated from Baba's eyes, and it wasn't just illuminating the room, it was penetrating every fiber of my being. The intensity of the light was overwhelming, yet it wasn't blinding or harsh. It was warm, comforting, and filled with a love that I had never experienced before. As the light enveloped me, I felt as though my entire existence was being cleansed, purified by this divine energy. My body couldn't handle the sheer power of the light, and I could feel myself losing consciousness. The last thing I remember was Baba's eyes, those eyes filled with infinite wisdom and compassion, before everything went black. When I woke up, I was lying in my hotel room, my heart pounding with a mix of confusion and exhilaration. The dream had felt so real, so vivid, that it was hard to believe it had just been a figment of my imagination. But the more I reflected on it, the more I realized that it was more than just a dream. I read a story about a devotee of Ramana Maharshi describing a dream remarkably similar to my own. He said sometimes saints give diksha, initiation, through dreams. Was it my initiation? In the days and weeks that followed, the dream stayed with me, lingering in the corners of my mind, influencing my thoughts and actions in ways I hadn't anticipated. Before this dream, I was deeply immersed in the pleasures of the world. My life revolved around the pursuit of material wealth, the thrill of parties, and the fleeting satisfaction of worldly desires. Women, money, and social status were the pillars of my existence, and I was content with the life I was leading. At least, I thought I was. But after that dream, everything began to change. It wasn't a sudden transformation. Rather, it was as if a seed had been planted deep within my soul, and over time, it began to grow. I found myself gradually losing interest in the things that had once consumed my life. I then shifted to India. I started to meditate, initially out of curiosity, but soon it became an essential part of my daily routine. What began as a few minutes of quiet reflection each day gradually expanded into hours of deep, focused meditation. I found peace in solitude, a tranquility that I had never known before. The more I meditated, the more I felt connected to something far greater than myself, something divine. This shift wasn't just internal. It began to manifest in my external life as well. The dream of Baba had sparked a transformation that I couldn't fully explain, but felt deeply. My heart, once filled with worldly desires, was now turning completely towards God. The pursuit of spiritual growth became my primary focus, and the things I once valued began to seem insignificant in comparison. One of the most significant changes was my decision to embrace brahmacharya, a vow of celibacy. This was a drastic departure from my previous lifestyle, but it felt like a natural progression in my spiritual journey. The desire for physical pleasure was replaced by a yearning for spiritual purity, and I found that this path brought me a deeper sense of fulfillment than I had ever experienced before. My wealth, which had once been a source of pride and security, no longer held the same importance. Guided by the subtle yet unmistakable voice of Baba, I began to give away my money to those in need. It wasn't about charity. It was about following the guidance of a higher power, trusting that Baba knew what was best for me. COVID hit me and my family very bad. Like numerous families, I lost my father in America to COVID, and I couldn't even meet him before his departure. Emotionally and health-wise, I wasn't going well. Lately I had fatigue, and my stomach hurt so bad was unbearable too. I decided to offer a small and quick prayers to Babaji and asked if I can healed by the chronic pain I am having and the fatigue and the stomach sharp pain. While I was praying to Baba, I also prayed for people around me for good, happy, pain-free health. This prayer lasted only a few seconds. I suddenly started feeling relaxed and my stomachache disappeared. The feeling of relaxing put me to a deep sleep. I woke up from a vivid dream, brought me to tears. Baba had appeared in my dreams, smiling gently and said, "You are never alone. I am always with you." Babaji works in mysterious ways. I didn't realize he put on a path to help others. He didn't serve me, but made me a tool to serve so many people with my care and money that I had left. This was my larger purpose. As I continued on this path, I often felt Baba's presence with me. It wasn't something I could see or touch, but it was a feeling, a knowing that he was always there, guiding me, protecting me. I would hear his voice, not in the way you hear someone speak, but more as a thought or an intuition that would suddenly arise within me. He would tell me to help someone in need, to give money to a struggling family, or to provide food for someone who was hungry. These weren't just random acts of kindness, they were direct instructions from Baba, and I followed them without hesitation. The money that I had once hoarded was now flowing out of my hands and into the lives of others. And yet, despite giving away so much, I never felt deprived. On the contrary, my heart was filled with a joy and contentment that I had never known before. Each time I followed Baba's guidance, I felt closer to him, more connected to the divine presence that had entered my life through that dream. Every day, my needs were met in ways that seemed almost miraculous. Whether it was a timely gift from a friend or an unexpected opportunity that brought in just enough money, I never lacked for anything. Baba was taking care of me just as he had promised in that dream. The love I felt for Baba grew stronger with each passing day. It was a love that didn't make logical sense. How could I love someone so deeply whom I had never met in person? But it wasn't a love that came from the mind. It was a love that flowed directly from the heart, a love that transcended time and space. Now the question is, how do we meet Babaji now? As I reflect on my journey, I am filled with gratitude for the way Baba has touched my life. His presence has been a guiding force, leading me away from the illusions of the material world and towards the truth of the divine. The dream I had in 2018 was not just a dream. It was a call to a higher path, a path that has brought me more joy, peace, and fulfillment than I ever thought possible. If you are listening to this and you feel a connection to Baba, if you feel his presence in your life, even in the smallest way, don't turn away. Embrace it with all your heart. It takes an incredible amount of good karma to have an avatar like Baba come into your life. Don't waste that opportunity. He may ask you to do difficult things, to make sacrifices, and to undergo tests of faith, but know that these challenges are part of the journey. Baba will reward you with blessings that far surpass any material wealth or worldly success. Baba chose you for a reason. Trust in his guidance, follow his teachings, and allow his love to transform your life. The path may not always be easy, but it will be filled with a divine love and grace that will carry you through even the toughest times. Neeb Karori Baba, revered as an incarnation of Hanuman Ji, embodies divine strength and compassion. Hanuman Ji, who once lifted an entire mountain to save the life of Lord Rama's brother, if Hanuman Ji could carry an entire hill in the palm of his hand, what are our worries in comparison? By surrendering our worries to him, we allow him to lift these burdens from our shoulders, just as Hanuman Ji lifted the mountain. In doing so, we free ourselves from the weight of anxiety and open ourselves to the miracles that Baba is ready to bestow.